Good morning, all.
Good morning, Steve.
Or
How's that?
afternoon, or evening, or whatever.
Good evening.
Hello, Martin.
Evening all.
Richard.
Well, they got me a proper name there, look.
Ooh.
Blimey.
Yeah.
Good evening, Jane.
Good afternoon. It's 1 o'clock
good
here.
evening. Sorry.
Sheila.
14.
Sheila.
There she was gone. Oh, there she is.
Yeah, hi everybody.
Hi, Hank.
Evening.
Hi, Jane. Hi, everybody.
Hi, Wilson. Jane.
We have a presenter joining, so that's good.
Hello, Hank.
Yeah.
Good morning. So, whatever.
Yeah. See that.
Herwig, you're muted again.
I'm not muted. I'm muted now. Hello, Quentin.
Hello.
Hi, Quentin.
I'm Dad.
Hello.
Who else? Yeah.
So we have a presenter that's muted at the moment, but
That's all right. Trying to top my glass up.
Okay, so now I should be on.
yep, that's all good.
All right, great. Good to see Quentin.
And Arlene is joining, so after she had some problems.
Cheers, Hank.
Hello.
Oh, Jim is here too. Hi, Jim.
Hi.
Order.
Herwig.
Water. That's no damn good. What time of the day is it, Frank, your way?
Evening.
Yeah, it is evening. Well, there you are. You should be having a gin or
1 hour in
something.
front of us.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's only
1
just
hour
down
in
the
front of
road.
us. Yeah.
Should be having a gin or something. Or
No.
in Scotland, a whiskey, Jane.
No.
No.
Maybe a pisco, if you know that one.
Right.
Pisco sour. Yeah.
Yeah.
A piece and jelly.
I see Bruce Kelly has connected too. Hi, Bruce.
Hey. Hey.
I added the blue mineral specifically for you.
Oh, thanks.
Evening, Richard.
Good evening, afternoon, morning, all,
Yeah.
Hey, Richard.
wherever you may be.
Mhm.
Got nearly half. Well,
Oh,
just,
David. Hi, David.
just over half of the people that registered are on so far. So we'll wait.
Okay.
Certainly easier than trying to find the email.
It did take me quite a while to actually work out how to do it. I figured that there were other people in the world doing it, so I should.
Yeah, I just
put it in your
stuffed it in the calendar and clicked on it.
Yeah, setting it up's a bit harder. You can't do it on the app. You've got to do it on the web. It's a hidden setting. So
Oh, yeah, I can do.
Arlene did find the link.
yes, Arlene found it, and this one.
Rupert, you going to Penberthy?
That's the plan, yeah.
Yeah. What day?
Well, I'm actually down for both days because I'm actually in Cornwall all week that week anyway, and I'm staying about 2 miles from Penberthy, so
Yeah.
so
Yeah. If I miss you the other trip, I'll catch you then. With your
yeah.
mom.
I mean, it's not definite yet because technically it's a family holiday, so
Oh, right. Oh dear.
Yeah, I'm going, Sheila.
Are you? Yeah, well, that's all right. Yeah.
Yeah. I might be bugging you for a bed again.
Well, I charge extra. Yeah,
All right.
actually, well, let me know because I think my brother, I got family down there.
Well, that's what I was wondering.
Oh no, it's all right. It's not that because yeah, no, it's all right. It's Croft Goffle that the week that their family are down, so that's all right.
Oh,
Yeah,
right.
no, it'll be all right. Yeah, you have to remind me though. Near the
Yeah,
time.
I'll send you a note later on.
Go
Who said
Robbie,
that?
Robbie. Go on, see Robbie.
Might not get out of his sofa. Might get eaten by something.
Yeah, the sofa.
Yeah.
I suppose I don't know what the situation is with hotels in terms of the way the lockdown's coming to an end. But I know there is if you want to flash some cash around, there's a Premier Inn now at Helston, which is pretty close. So you could always do that as a kind of.
I should find out next Tuesday.
Oh right.
I'm going to see Richard for a few days.
Oh yeah. Mm.
And we're in North Liverpool. So is that part of Liverpool City, Richard?
No.
So we should be all right then.
It's part of the city region, but it's about 20 miles away, 10 miles away.
Oh, that's all right. That's far enough.
So you'll be all right. Just bring some paintbrushes.
Put one in each hand.
That'll do.
Steve.
Bring some paintbrushes.
Steve.
Richard, next week, some paintbrushes. I just got the
What?
Mid sentence, Martin. What happened?
Yeah. And you're
It's
far away.
getting old. Yeah, he's forgot what he's doing. Yeah. You're right, Martin.
I'm fine, thank you.
Oh, jolly good. Yeah.
There comes Shucks.
Steve. Before we start, can I make my little announcement about pictures?
Yeah, what I've done is I've actually posted it.
I'm going to just mute a minute. We got the kettle boiling.
Okay.
Yeah, I've posted a message in the Micromount Club as well, so people should be able to get hold of you directly through that. But yes, please do go ahead.
Okay. I'm co-authoring a paper for the Rocks and Minerals on Volvorthite with Peter McGaw. And we need some pictures.
Yeah.
Anybody that's got Volvorthite, especially if anybody has some from the Slovranvoski copper mine, Russia, which is the type locality, I'd love to have you guys send me some pictures, and we will credit you fully in the art and for the pictures. But
I have some for what I
we're having
Jim, but
trying to get as many
I haven't got some
locality
Russia.
pictures as we can. You do have?
yeah, but not from Russia, and unfortunately.
I got an oddball one from Summit Rock locality in Oregon that's Don Howard had analyzed. It's in the andesite.
That would be great. We'll consider anything anybody would like to send us, please.
I will do that, Jim.
Thank you very much.
Okay, now it seems like most people at least didn't have an issue with the registration process, which is good.
Ik heb jullie de link even doorgestuurd.
Sorry, what was that?
De link naar die meeting. Je zit al op. Oké. Heel goed.
Yeah, Shax.
Oh,
That phase
right.
is having a problem.
A sidebar conversation. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, Arlene, you got yours sorted out, which is good. Christian is now on the call. I sent Christian the link directly. I'm not sure what happened there, but I'm going to keep doing that going ahead because it makes life a lot easier for me as well. And that's always a good thing. All right.
Colleen contacted me a minute ago, about an hour ago, to ask if it was not 9 o'clock. I don't know if she's about.
Yeah, Colin's
Yeah,
on.
she's here.
Yeah, Colin's
I'm
on.
here.
I'm here.
All right. Okay.
You know
right.
me. You know me in numbers.
Lurking about. Yeah, that's all right.
She's on page 2.
On page 2, is she? All right. Okay.
Yeah, I was on page 1, according to me.
Page 1 girl. Page 1 girl.
Yeah, yeah.
So probably the key thing is doing it this way is that it actually does give you the opportunity to save the thing in your calendar if you use Google Calendar, Yahoo, or Outlook, and that means that you will get a notification at the prior to the session coming, and it'll be in your time zone, and that's probably the most important thing. So we've got.
I don't use any of them.
Well, you'll have to write it down then, Martin. All right.
Will I get a reminder each time then, or an email, or?
You'll have to register for each one individually. So I'll set each one up because the subject obviously will be different.
Yeah.
I do run, as Paul and Frank and Richard know, I do run a fortnightly, what we call specimen of the day group, which is on Saturday afternoon my time, and it's just more of a social thing. And that particular one I've set up 20 in advance, so you only have to register once for that one. But for this one, because it's a different topic each fortnight, I'll be setting up a separate one.
So where will I find the link to log in this time now then? Next time that'll come through on Messenger as normal.
Yeah, I'll still send the
click on that link to go. Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
I may not be about in 2 weeks. I should be up in Cumbria.
Well, better not put you down for the next talk then.
No, you better not.
Or I suppose a bit of cover off.
If I can get a signal, I'll log in wherever I am and join in. But I'm not sure exactly where the signal's going to come from where I'm staying. So
okay, all right. Well, I've got one that I've been working on anyway, so I can do that one. And then we might put you down for the one after, either on Cumbria or Wales. I think you.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
So you let me know which one you want to do first.
Okay. Yeah. I'll probably do Cumbria.
Okay. Right, I'll lock you in for that one. Okay.
That's 4 weeks time, is it?
Yeah, 4 weeks time.
Okay, right.
I'll send you a reminder anyway.
Okay.
All right. We've got most people that registered have now joined, which is good. So we have our presenter. I've just lost. Oh, there we go. So I think many of you already know Herwig. He's in sunny Spain still, I think. Yes.
Oh, sunny Spain.
Sunny Spain, yeah, rather than Belgium. And it's going to be a slightly different type of session this time round. Part of it could well be interactive. Is that probably fair to say? So we might still have people mute and turn off their videos for any presentation that Herwig does. But if we get to the point where we're doing the interactive part, I'll get you to unmute and turn your videos back on so we can do that and see, who's asking questions or responding to things and so on. On that basis, I'll hand over to Herwig and we'll get into his projects.
Okay. Okay, so I'm preparing screen. Let me see where I start. Okay, I'm trying to find the page where I was going to. Oh yeah, okay. All right. So I'll start by showing you the Volbortite screen that I was going to. Yes. Okay. All right. Okay, so if this works as it's supposed to work, then within 5 seconds you should see the Volbortite page of mindat.org. Okay, great. Well, this is only as an introductory page because first of all things that I needed to talk about was I have to give an explanation to Quentin White. The reason why is because a couple of months ago, he asked me to give a talk for the Canadian, a digital talk, so an online talk on Zoom like this one, for the Canadian micromineralogists. And I said no. And the reason why is because for one thing, I prefer to have interaction with the people I'm talking with or I'm talking to, and also my real talks, so to speak, they take months to assemble, and so I don't like other people to just copy them, to record my talks and then afterwards using them for their clubs without even acknowledging me. So that was the reason, two main reasons why I said no to Quentin. But then afterwards I started thinking of there might be some other kind of talk that I could actually give that's, you know, it's probably not of that much interest to copy what I'm interested in, the projects I'm working on. So in that way, there isn't going to be a problem. And at the same time, I think it's a good thing that people, especially collectors like we are, that they learn more about what other people are doing. You know, it's not only going out and collecting. There's many times there's more to the story than just go out collecting and eventually cataloging and curating your collection. Some people are more into research than others, and I tend to think of myself that for now, at least for the last few years, I'm more into research than anything else. So there's a number of projects, I call them projects, so to speak, and there's a number of projects that I would like to talk to you about, and even those projects will be different. So there's going to be quite a few different things that we can talk about tonight. I want to start actually with Volbortite, since Jim McGlasson mentioned that he's going to write an article on Volbortite with Peter McGaw, who you might know is a very keen collector of Mexican minerals. And it's probably not a coincidence that in the last few years, the best specimens of Volbortite have come out from Mexico, if I'm not mistaken. So anyway, Jim McGlasson mentioned that he was interested in photos of Volbortite, of the type locality of Volbortite. So imagine you would like to know what the type locality of Volbortite is. Well, it's very easy. You go to Mindat and you type in here in this upper right-hand corner. If you type here Volbortite, I'll actually do it. And if you type the name correctly, it will take you to the page immediately. So let's not do that. Let's type in just Volbor, just like that, and see what he comes up with. And okay, so you see this is, or I hope you see it by now. I have to make sure that I wait about 5 seconds. So I hope everybody sees the page now with the search results.
It was
okay.
Pretty quick this time.
Okay, well, yeah, I actually, yeah, Steve, you don't know this yet, but I actually I went out and bought a LAN cable, so I would have the best signal that I could get.
Excellent.
Okay, so there is only one real mineral, so to speak. There's only one name that's listed in bold, and that's a recognized mineral species. So volbortite is the only mineral species with the string volbor. There used to be calcio-volbortite, but that's no longer a true species, okay? So if we click on this name here, that'll take you to the page of volbortite. And then it's quite easy because it's actually at the top is already mentioned here, the type locality, okay? And it is indeed in Russia, as Jim told us. Now, Jim was looking for photos of volbortite from the type locality, so we can check to see if there are any on Mindet. You click on the type locality, that takes you to the page of the type locality, and lo and behold, here is a photo of volbortite from the type locality, okay? What's more interesting is that if you go a little bit down on the page, you can see here the mineral list, okay? And you see here volbortite, okay? This icon shows if you hover your mouse over the small icon for the photos, you can actually see there's only one photo available in the database of volbortite from the type locality. And by the way, TL stands for type locality, okay? So if you click on this icon, it will actually take you to the photo, and you will kind of immediately recognize a description like this. This is one of the finest specimens I have ever seen. You don't have to read on, it's Rob Levinsky, okay? So what is more interesting, and what most people, well, what a lot of people might not know, is that you can also click on this little icon that's in front of the name volbortite, okay? If you click on that icon, it takes you to a different page where you will actually see the photo once again, but then below you get like a small resume of information about that mineral from that locality. So in this case, it has it mentions something regarding the validity of the species at that locality, and since it's from the type locality, it's considered to be valid. Okay. It also has the reference. It mentions here. Well, not the original reference because it was described earlier, but it mentions here the book by Peckov, Minerals First Discovered on the Territory of the Soviet Union. Okay, so that's actually a pretty interesting book for people who want to know more about minerals that were first discovered and described in the Soviet Union. It's still available secondhand. It's a fairly good book. I use it every now and then. It's in my library. Okay, so to cut a long explanation short, there is one photo of volbortite on Mindet, and that's how we found it. Okay, now going back to the mineral page. Okay, I'm just going back to the mineral page. Okay, I hope everybody can see here about volbortite. So it was named in honor of a certain von Volbert, okay, actually a paleontologist. And so the question now is, when was this mineral first described? Just for, you know, to satisfy our curiosity. Well, you can go to the references page, which is here, I guess. No, it's relationship. Here it's references. Yes. Okay. All right. So if you go to the references section of the volbortite page, you get them sorted by year normally. And we see here the oldest reference is 1838. It's actually a German article on Volbortite. And they say about Volbortite, a new vanadium, a new mineral containing vanadium. So just to let you know, so now we found the reference to the first description of Volbortite, but can we actually, can we actually look at that first description of Volbortite using MinDat? Yes, we can. If you go to references, no, we are already by references, but if you go one up or down, I always forget, it's down. Okay, it's a good thing. So here are a number of links that are mentioned, especially for Volbortite. And among the external links, you have the references and PDF downloads at the RUF project, okay? If you click on that link, it will take you to the RUF database. We have to wait a little while. Okay. And I have forgotten who was the first author, but it was 18 something. So let's just scan the. Okay, here we got it. It was Volbort himself actually who wrote the article about Volbortite. That's actually funny. Nowadays, this would no longer be possible. It's considered very bad practice if a mineralogist tries to describe a new mineral and give it his own name. But back then, apparently, it might be possible that he wrote an article about a new mineral containing vanadium, and that only later on it was given the name Volbortite. But anyway, so you see this reference here, and let's see if I can move this thing here. Yeah. So on the right-hand side of that reference, you have a small icon that says PDF. Okay, if you click on that PDF, it will actually take you to that original first description of Volbortite. And so it was published in the Bulletin Scientifique publié par l'Académie, so published in a bulletin by the Academy of Imperial Science of St. Petersburg. And this is the start of the article, you see? By notes, über das Volbortit ein neues vanadiumhaltiges Mineral. And it was written by Dr. Volbort. So now, using MinDat, we have found, in just a couple minutes, we have found the type locality of the mineral. We have found a photo of the mineral from that type locality. We have found the first reference, the first article in which Volbortite was described, and we have actually access to that first article. And for most minerals, this is the case. You can do it that way. So that's just an appetizer, okay? All right. One of the things, and we have to, let's see. Okay, one of the things that I'm also interested in is old mineral books, books that are, well, fairly old, late 1700s, that talk about minerals, different kinds of minerals. And every now and then, even though these are really old books, you find something new and exciting. It happened to me when I was at the same time looking into the first descriptions of prehnite. Okay, so prehnite, let's go to Mindat. This is the page on prehnite. Okay, and on that page, oops, we can see here about prehnite. At the top of each mineral page, you have the about section. And here we can see that the name was given in 1788 by Werner in honor of Colonel Hendrik von Preen. Well, I've been doing quite a bit of research, and that first sentence is not correct. But anyway, that's not the point of what I want to say tonight. It was discovered around 1774 in the larger area of Cape of Good Hope. But so it's important that the first actual article that describes prehnite and uses the name prehnite was published in 1788. Okay. The book I was reading was published in 1782. And I was reading it and said to myself, he's referencing a prehnite specimen. Well, back then he couldn't use the name prehnite because that only appeared 6 years later. So of course he named it differently, but by the name that he used and by his description, I said, because he mentioned that it came from the Cape of Good Hope, I said, this can only be prehnite, okay? So the book was 1782, and I got it, I got curious. I wanted to find out if that illustration that I found in that book, if that was the oldest illustration. So prehnite being a mineral from South Africa, I said to myself, I have to contact Bruce Cairncross because he is the specialist on South African minerals. So I sent him a nice email and asked him his advice about prehnite, and he got back to me and said, well, the oldest illustration is in a book of 1781. Okay, it's the book by Dagoty. Let's see if I can show you where that book is. Yeah. Okay. This is the book we're talking about. And as you can read here in Latin, it says 1781. Okay. So I said to myself, oh, bummer. My illustration is just 1 year older. And then I looked again at this title page and noticed this says première partie, which means the first part. Okay. So I was wondering if this is the first part and it is published in 1781, then how many other parts are there and when were those published? The book by Dagoty, this book, is known for its incredibly beautiful drawings, which there's one you can see here. And those drawings back then, they were printed for the very first time. They used color in the printing. Okay. So the things you're seeing here, they were not colored by hand afterwards. These were actually among the very first books that had color printing in it. And this here, you might recognize the mineral, even though the name of the mineral isn't mentioned. If anybody wants to unmute himself and tell me what the mineral is.
Fluorite.
Exactly, fluorite. Thank you, Frank. You're right. Yeah. And you can actually see here, there's a nice penetration twin. And so yeah, the colors are actually fairly good. So back then in French, they called it spat vitreux cubique. Cubic, so isometric, and spat was a general name back then for material that they found in the mines, but it didn't have any ore, so they called it spat. And vitreux means glassy in French, okay? And this is another spat. So again, it's not an ore mineral, but if you look at the crystals, you can actually recognize, you know, by looking at the crystals, you can actually recognize they are spat pesant. Pesant means heavy, so barite. Anyway, this book by Dacoty is famous for its color plates, and color plates were published in groups of 10, okay? And so the mineral prehnite was on plate 66. Now, all those groups of plates were published at a specific time, and there is still research that needs to be done to find out when exactly what group of plates was published. But most likely the group that had plate 66 was published around 1890 or 1891. So much later than the illustration of prehnite that I found. So in other words, I did find the oldest illustration of prehnite, and I hope, okay, I'll have to, let's see if I can find it quickly, prehnite. Oops. Here we go. Oh, why didn't it do it? Ah, there he is. Okay. And here is the illustration of prehnite that I found. Okay, so this is a couple of years before color printing. So in this case, the book was published in black and white, and only later on were colors added by hand, okay? So I agree that the prehnite doesn't look like it's a museum specimen, but what is kind of typical for prehnite is that parallel growth of crystals. So you got stacks of crystals next to each other, and that together with the location, Cape of Good Hope, and also that this was a new find back then, actually is quite convincing for it to be prehnite. So what you're looking at here, it's not published yet, but it's in the workings, the oldest publication of prehnite, the oldest photo, no, drawing, the oldest illustration of prehnite. So this is just to show that you can, by reading old mineral books, you can still find new and interesting things. Only a couple of weeks ago, I was reading more in that old book, and I came up on the first description. Well, I came up on a description of what later was going to be named axinite. And again, axinite was illustrated in that book, and most likely it's also the oldest illustration of axinite. So that makes it two interesting finds. in the same book. Okay, let's see what else that we have. Move this window away from the... Okay, well, let's... Okay, well, I don't have to see where I have too many things open at the moment. Okay. Okay, let's go to the...
Sorry, Herwig, I think you're muted at the moment.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Okay.
You might have to stop sharing and reshare if you're going to a different app.
Okay, I see. Yeah, okay. Let me see if I can, just for a second, let me. Okay. Okay, yeah, this is what I wanted. Okay, I'll okay. Well, let's do something interacting now. So I'll go to the first page. Yes, okay. Resume share. Okay, this should go down. All right. Can everybody see the crystal, the blue crystal?
No, we've got a pretty much a blank. Oh, hang on. We're back to the pre-night.
Okay. Well, the pre-night is going to go away, and then you should be able to see the blue. Your screen sharing is paused. Shall I stop share and resume share again, or?
Yes, please.
Okay. Stop share and then share screen again. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Share. All right. Can you see the blue crystal now or not?
Yes, we can.
Okay. Okay. All right. So, okay. What I want to do now is I want to try out something. So let me explain the reason why I wanted to do this. This is another project of mine, and I was thinking about, instead of giving a talk where the speaker always has to say everything about the photos and the locality and whatever, I thought, well, we could eventually do this a different way. And so my goal is to show you 3 photos of the same specimen, and each photo is different is somewhat different. So the first photo is just going to show you the mineral without any information. Okay. If you think that you know what mineral this is, then I want you to use the chat and send the name of the mineral to me, only to me. You can do that. In chat, you can, either choose to send it to the whole group or choose to send it to a specific person. So, go to the chat and send it to me instead of to the whole group, because if you send it to the whole group, it's no more fun for the rest of it. Okay, so then the second photo, I will give some more information. Okay, and I will at the same time look at the chat to see if anybody has found it already. And then the third photo will have all the information, okay, including the name, the formula, and the locality. Okay, so chat, I have 4 chats. Okay, all right, good. I'm not going to reply yet to the chats, but I'll show the second photo now, okay, which normally should be here. Yes. So this gives you the locality. So you now can see it's a specimen from California. From the okay.
I was right.
Yeah. So, all right. I'll show everybody the third photo, and then you now have the solution, so to speak. But let me get to the person who actually got it right first, which is Steve. So Steve Stewart, tell me, why did you say bonitoite? Because this is actually the most interesting part of all. Steve apparently recognized the mineral, so by knowing, or if he is able to tell us why he thought of bonitoite, we might actually all learn from his experience.
I guessed very heavily that it was bonitoite. It looked so familiar. The crystal shape.
Yep.
That's all I said, bonitoite. So I was right.
Okay.
I was lucky.
Yeah, well, it wasn't obvious. I agree, it was absolutely not obvious. In this case,
the color.
The color is somewhat yes, is an indication. The crystal, it's not the typical triangle that you see or that most people are familiar with bonitoite.
But I've seen these before.
Yeah. So these actually have a hexagonal, hexagonal looking shape to them.
Truncated triangle.
It's because the mineral is trigonal. So yes, it is. Indeed, yeah. But what is also important is so actually here, if we go back one step, by giving the location, California and the New Idiria mining district, that's actually the place where all bonitoite, all well-crystallized bonitoite has been found. So if you know more or less about your minerals by, showing the location, you should have a better chance of being able to tell what it is. Okay, so bonitoite, it's a barium titanium silicate, and the wachinite, I actually don't really see it, so we're not going to talk about it. Let's do a second one. Oops, all right. Okay. Okay, let's see. Can I, if I close this, okay, I stopped the screen sharing. Okay, let me for just a second go to the second batch. Okay, and now I have to, now I have to start my screen sharing again. Share screen. Okay. Share. All right. So can everybody see the hedgehog more or less?
Yep.
Can everybody see the hexagonal crystals in the middle and then the crystals sticking out?
Yeah.
Okay. So obvious question, any idea? Well, these are of course two minerals. It's not just one mineral. If you have any ideas, use the chat and I'll give everybody a few seconds. Okay. Yeah, this wasn't easy, and I agree. Well, let's play it the same way we did it before. I'll show you the second photo. So now you have the locality. Okay. So it's an Eiffel specimen, a specimen that was found in the Eifel, the volcanic Eifel district area of Germany. Okay, all right. I'll show you the third photo. And according to the photographer, and I think he's correct, the photographer is Fred Kruijen, which is a guy from the Netherlands who does extremely incredible, he makes extremely good photos of micromounts, especially Eiffel micromounts. And according to him, it's rutile crystals that have grown in an oriented way on corundum crystals. So it's the same mechanic, how to say that, the same things that work as your well-known combination of rutile and hematite. Only in this case, it's not hematite, it's corundum, which actually has the same structure as hematite. Okay, so hematite is Fe2O3, so iron 2, oxygen 3, and corundum is aluminum 2, oxygen 3. Okay, so yeah, your first impression might have been, oh, this is rutile and hematite, but then this looked way too glossy to be hematite, right? So couldn't be hematite. Okay, let's do a third one. Oh, okay. Well, let's see if anybody guessed that right from. Let's see. Okay.
Jack's got it.
Who's got it?
Jack's. He put it up for everyone.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, half
okay.
right.
I didn't see it. Okay. Well, anyway, all right. Well, great.
Flashed up on my screen.
Yeah.
Okay.
But
So it was Frank. You said it was Frank.
Jack's.
Oh, Jack. Okay, Jack. Can you comment on why you came up with your solution?
Yes, because I am specialized in Wanacove minerals, and I know the corundum, but I had a mistake with rutile. I thought it was amphibole, but now I see the top. It is rutile, but the corundum I know. So it's familiar to me.
Yes, it is. It is. Yeah. So this actually indicates that if a person is familiar with a certain area or a certain locality, you know, he's more likely to come to the right identification than somebody who's unfamiliar with that locality, which makes sense, of course. All right, let's try another one. Okay, this not. All right. This is actually a combination of 3 minerals, and the minerals might actually, you know, the fact that they are together might actually help you identifying all 3. If anybody wants to. Wow, Bruce, you're fast. Yeah, well, yeah, okay. Yeah, Bruce was very fast. Steve is almost right. Okay, I'll take you to the next photo that shows you the locality. And so that's Huercal Obera in Andalusia, Spain. For those people that are somewhat familiar with this Spanish locality, it's extremely well known for its arsenates. Okay.
erythrite, olivenite, and cornubite, cornwallite.
Well, the last one, of course, the green globular things are the most difficult to identify because you don't have any crystal shape to go with. You only have that green color. So let's have a look at the solution. The green balls are actually conic-calcite and not cornwallite.
Yeah,
but
close.
other than that, yes, erythrite, which was quite obvious to most. And the one to the right here, this spray is olivenite. Okay. So Bruce, tell, oh, you had, yeah, you had them. No, you had, yes,
almost.
you had them all three.
Almost.
Okay. Okay. No,
you know,
okay.
I said Adamite, and
Yes.
it's pretty tough
Okay,
to tell the
nice.
difference
No.
visually.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
But
Okay.
once you know you've got an arsenate, then that narrows it down a fair amount.
Yeah,
Yes, I
I
agree.
Adamite. Sorry, I got erythrite and conic-calcite, but I said Adamite instead of.
Yeah. Well, yeah, Adamite and olivenite, you know, I mean, they're, well, in this crystal shape, they're almost impossible to identify by sight. And that's also something that we should be aware of, that, you know, identifying a mineral just by eyeballing it, it's okay, but it's not the most scientific way of going at it, so to speak. So the next step to do, and that is still available to a lot of collectors, is doing eventually some small chemical tests, or eventually, if you're good at crystallography, is look into detail at the crystals and see if you can figure out by looking into detail at the crystals and see if you can figure out what mineral it is. Okay. I think I have a last one that I can eventually show you. I don't think there's another one behind this, is there? No. Okay. Okay, I'll have to stop sharing for a second, and I'll go get one more photo that we can play with. Okay, that is the. Okay. Here. Yes, okay, I got it. Let's see, Zoom meeting. Okay, share screen. Okay, here. I hope this works. And while the photo is loading, I want Jacques to be quiet on this one because it's his specimen. So Jacques Feyen, you're not allowed to play in this one. Okay, so yeah, here's the photo without any information. If you have a guess, just fire away. Yeah, this looks a lot more difficult, apparently. Okay, I'll make it a little bit easier. This is a specimen that was found by Jacques Feyen, who is among us, at the Aris quarry in Namibia. So Aris quarry means it's in a cyanide environment. See, immediately we've got some better, and I have the first person, Colleen, saying apophyllite. Indeed, it is apophyllite. So Colleen, can you let us know how you found it?
Yes, if you look at the the top of the middle crystal, it's the actual crystal facing us is quite indicative of apophyllite habit.
This face?
Yes, that's correct.
Yes, I agree. Yeah. Yes, so this is indeed also if you're looking at minerals and trying to identify them, try to look everywhere, so to speak, because if you look here at the bottom of the crystal, what you see here is perpendicular to the actual crystal itself. Okay, this is what is called an internal cleavage plane, and apophyllite is very well known for its perfect cleavage. Okay, so this is actually an excellent indicator, besides the morphology of the crystal, that this is indeed an apophyllite crystal. Excellent. Okay. So my question in general is, now that we've done a few photos, a few sets of photos, is this something that you would like as a talk, so to speak, where you have 3 sets of photos and, you know, everybody, Colleen thinks it's okay.
Very good. Very interesting.
Okay, all right. We'll keep that in mind. Okay, let's see. Maybe I can stay on the shared page and okay, I'll move to my next topic, which is redgolite. Actually, yeah, okay, we'll talk about redgolite first. Okay, takes a while for Minda to come to life. Oh, geez, it's already almost time. Surprising.
That's okay, Herwig. We can keep going for a little bit.
Okay. All right, so redgolite, I'm writing an article on, I'll be very short on this one. I'm writing an article on redgolite and I'm in need of some very good photos, okay? I have contacted a few persons by email and for some reason, the communication ends and I don't like that, okay? And then I try to revive the communication to no avail. So I would, if somebody has good photos of redgolite and is willing to have them published in one of the mineral magazines, I still have to decide which one, then let me know, okay? I can give you my email address at the end, or I can give it. I can send it out to everybody by chat. Let's do that at the end. Yeah, well, there's somebody who mentions a name to me privately. That's actually the person that I contacted, and my communication just ended. Okay, so it's apparently, I don't know why. Maybe my English is too bad. I don't know, but anyway. Didn't work out with him. Another thing that I just wanted to mention is for all, if there are any members of the British Micromount Society with us tonight, I joined the British Micromount Society after the last symposium and decided, hey, why not write an article for their newsletter? So I did. I wrote an article on greenockite and I published the first, actually a small condensed version. I published that in Mineral News, and then afterwards I did an extended version of my article and sent it to the editor, and the editor, after a couple of months, finally replied to me and came up with his version of my article, which was unacceptable to me. His explanation was that... he
does that all the while.
say that again.
He does that all the time, even to me.
He does it to me as well.
Well, okay.
Yeah.
Well,
and me.
I'm somebody who's quite straightforward. So I said it's either my version or not at all, and so he chose not at all, which is fine by me. But I thought it was a pity for the BMS members, because it was actually written for them too. So I just yesterday with Steve, I agreed upon publishing it in his digital mineral magazine. So it will be published almost identically, only a few words that are different, and it will be published in Steve's magazine.
Good.
Just so you know. And if you read it and you thought it was okay for being published in BMS newsletter, just send me a private mail to confirm that I wasn't too bad after all.
Yeah, so there's a few people on the list here that actually are subscribers of the monthly Mineral Chronicles, which is what it will be published in.
Yes.
I'm
So
looking
right
forward to it.
now, Steve and I are just working on what photos we are going to add to the article. But the article itself has been written for months, and anyway, it's going to be published now, so that's good. Another question that I can be very short about is the mineral motucoreite. Okay, let's. So it's a mineral that was first found in.
Yeah, I can shut her off.
Say that again.
That's all right. I think it was just a background.
Okay. Okay, he's busy. All right. So this mineral I'm talking about. Okay. If you have any good photos of this mineral, I'm interested in them because I'm writing an article on the mineral as well, and some inside information. So quite recently, this mineral was found in nicely crystallized in Spain on one of the islands, and it looks very similar to Levine crystals, but it is somewhat different in shape. So what I would suggest to you is that you check all your Levine specimens to see if any of those have those kind of rose-shaped aggregates. Because if they are rose-shaped aggregates, there's a good chance that your specimen is actually this mineral instead of Levine, okay? So that's something to check out. All right. Yeah, well, I think I had at least 5 other subjects I wanted to talk about, but it's already 5 after. Something that I found out while talking to Steve yesterday that is what I didn't know is that there's actually different options with Zoom, and that you can eventually opt for a Zoom version that cannot be recorded. Okay, so with that information in mind, I might eventually offer to give other talks on other subjects. I have one on titanite, I have one on fluoride, so I have a couple that I could talk about as well. Oh yeah, maybe we can end with, I don't know how much time you guys spend on MinDat, but let's see, where did I, is it here? Yes. Okay. Here, there's a, okay, let me move this around.
I think you'll have to stop sharing and reshare again, Herwig.
Okay, yeah, I'll do so, no problem. Okay, I'll first put the link in so that it gets to the right page. Okay, well, this is something else, but okay, it's interesting too. So I have to share again? Is that what you're saying?
Only if you're going.
Seeing it.
If it's still just a web page, that's fine. But if you
this is the MinDat page, and it's an article that says performing a few tests with small crystals.
Yep, no, that's okay. We just had a blank rectangle in the middle of the screen before, but it's gone now.
Oh, okay, yeah. Well, that was mainly due to the fact that I needed the link to get from that file, so I did it quickly and probably didn't have the time to come through. Okay, so I wrote an article not too long ago about how to perform a few tests on small crystals, because I got tired of people saying, well, I can't perform a hardness test on a crystal that's only about 1 millimeter in size. The answer is yes, you can. Okay, and how you have to do it is mentioned in this article. So there's a few things. There's also a test about the refractive index, which is most of the times the refractive index of a mineral is just completely ignored by most people, by most collectors. And that's a shame, because it can actually be very instrumental in identifying your mineral specimens. So what I did is I made a list of fluids that are not uncommon in average household, and I mentioned the refractive indices of those fluids. Okay, so general idea is if you have a mineral that you don't know the refractive index using these fluids, you can more or less pinpoint what refractive indexes has. It's explained here in this text. Okay. And then the other thing is the scratch test, and this is actually a way of identifying to some extent the hardness of a mineral by using two glass slides. Okay, so you can read that. I'll when you have time, and if you have any comments on it, you're more than welcome to let me know. I hope I can. How do I get to the chat?
That's all right.
Okay, let me stop. Let me stop sharing. Okay, I'll put the link in the chat to everyone. There you go. Oh, okay, Steve. Oh, you already did it. Sorry, I didn't see that. Okay.
Yeah, except I did it just to
okay. Okay. Well, then let's.
So done now.
Okay. Okay, let's go to that one thing that I wanted to, and we'll end with this one unless. Okay, so share screen again. No, not that one. Okay. Okay, so we're going to the message board here, and this is a thread that was started more or less on the 15th of May. It's a guy from California. He was actually gold panning, and this is what he found in his gold pan, and he called it as his little tiny crystal octahedron. Well, the tiny crystal octahedron, by calling it octahedron, that kind of, put everybody on the wrong leg, so to speak. Because if you find an octahedral crystal like this in your gold pan, most people think, okay, it's going to be a zircon. So we started out in that direction, but then further on, further on down, there were a couple of things that didn't look like zircon. Let's see. So it's okay. This is somebody trying to come up with a crystal drawing of zircon that actually fits the general shape of the crystal. But then here we see something that, you know, doesn't make sense for zircon, because zircon is tetragonal, so it has a fourfold symmetry. If you have a mineral that has a fourfold symmetry, you're not going to have these angles. You know, you should have 90 everywhere and not 100 here, 100 there, and 80, 80. So this actually indicates that it's not a fourfold, but a twofold or less, okay? And so finally, at the end, it has been identified. And then as soon as we knew for sure what it was, I made crystal drawings of the crystal. Just a very, very common faces for the mineral, very common forms for the mineral. So this is the crystal drawing, and the crystal itself, you can see at the top, it looks almost identical. So it turned out to be a titanite crystal instead of a zircon. Now, it's a good read, and it shows that even with just a photo, you can do a lot of things to identify a mineral. And sometimes it pays off, sometimes it is possible to identify a mineral based on just one photo. Okay, that's some of the projects that I have. I have others, but I can talk about those in a future talk if you want.
Very good.
Yeah.
I'm surprised how fast time went.
That's really interesting.
Very good.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I like the interactive bit. It's good.
Yeah.
Nice change from our usual.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, that's what sometimes it's interesting to learn about what other people do, because, well, we all collect minerals, so to speak, but there's different aspects to the hobby as well.
Yeah.
I think there's a lot of value in sharing the way we think about identifying minerals, because like you say, everybody looks at things a little different based on their experience, and like with a particular mine or particular testing methodologies. So we can all learn from that, I think.
Yeah, exactly. I agree. And it's one of the things that I actually have in mind to one of my other projects that I haven't mentioned, but I'm for months now thinking of writing an article on how to find things on Mindat, because as I showed you just a few things, but there's many more things that I can show you that I learned, and then I'm absolutely sure that there's even more things that you guys know that you could share with us. So that could be interactive as well. And just to give you an idea, I showed one little thing to Steve 2 days ago, and he wrote me back yesterday saying, "Oh, I already used it and it was handy, very handy to have." So
yeah, absolutely.
So that can be a future talk. There's not much preparation for that one, Steve. So whenever you feel like it, just let me know.
That'd be good. The other thing is Herwig and I did a bit of a test run because of his location, and he learned something about Mindat that I'd been using previously as well. So it goes both ways.
Yeah. Oh, maybe my final thing, just in case you've been wondering, I do have a red eye. there's two explanations for it. The first one being, for the very first time, I said no to my wife. Okay. And,
I can believe that.
I don't believe that.
I believe it.
She must have very long arms.
The second explanation is don't try to get into your car before you have actually opened the door. I was in the middle of opening it and trying to get in at the same time. It doesn't work.
Was the real explanation?
Yeah, that's the real one.
You didn't get into a fight?
So
I'm getting a call from my wife.
Yeah. Jacques was saying the other day that his wife's in Belgium and he was in Spain, so she would have had to have very long arms to.
All right.
They've both been at my house, and I know his wife very well, and I would never think she'd do that.
No, that's true. Well, that was the fun explanation.
Don't forget this is going to be up on YouTube.
She can live with it. She knows my kind of humor.
Actually, David Rowe, the BMS, he might like some of this information that you can get off of Mindat, because that is helpful to all levels of collectors. He might like that. The BMS. Yeah.
Well, you might not.
Thinking about it.
The only problem I have now with BMS is I cannot write for them because my style is not their style, and they made it very obvious, and I'm fine with that. You know, it's just if the two styles don't match. I mean, there's
put it on the website.
Yeah.
Put it on the website.
Yeah.
There's a website. Steve is the webmaster of the site now. Put it on that.
Yeah, put it on the website. Yeah,
that's true.
Yeah, that's possible. Yeah, but yeah. Now there's a difference between explaining things online or writing them out. If you have to write out using screenshots and things like that, it takes a lot of time to do that.
Oh yeah.
So it would actually be more how to say. Less time consuming if you could do it in a video, so to speak.
Yeah.
So yeah, so what we could do, Steve, is if we're having a talk on how to find things on Mindat, we could record it and then make it available.
Yep. Yeah, we can do that.
That'd be brilliant. Yeah.
Good idea.
Okay.
Good. Yeah.
So, we'll just have to.
Really good. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right. Well, on that basis, it's 20 past now, so we've, I think, had a pretty good session. Herwig, thank you very, very much for.
You're welcome.
Yeah, thank you. Very good.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, we like that.
Very good.
Bye.
Yeah.
And watch out for those car doors.
Yeah, I will.
And my friend, always great.
Thank you.
I hope we get to see you again someday here soon.
Yes,
See you
yes,
later.
I'm anxious to go back to the United States. You know, I go there every year at least twice, and it's been almost 2 years now. So yeah.
Well,
if I can make it, it will be the symposium in Mid California, in North California Micromount Association.
In September.
Yeah.
Great. Yes. I'll be there.
Okay, that's excellent. Okay, I'll look forward to it. Definitely.
If they have it, it sounds like they will.
They will, most likely. But the only question is, are we going to be allowed to go into the country? That's
yeah.
But we'll see. We'll see. It's still a while.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, guys.
All right.
Okay.
Bye.
Thanks, everybody.
Bye.
I'll see you in a couple of
Bye all.
Bye.